Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's Wednesday, mixing in NBA, college basketball, and we got to start talking about the Super Bowl as the board continues to heat up. Dan, come on in here. We got a loaded show, man, absolutely loaded show, and we have our first ever official client, LFG WTF.
Wow.
So, yeah,
that is a tease. That is a tease, Andy.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Tell us who we have on the show, and then let's give out our first official client free pick.
And I'm very excited because we're gonna have Bryan Power right out of the gate here, and he, much like we dabble here in the Champions League and the Premier League, so it'll be interesting to see if we get the Bryan stamp of approval on this WTF or LFG. So we'll get his thoughts on a Champions League matchup, and he's also talking college basketball. Texas taking on Auburn. He's got a Lakers and Cavs breakdown here for you. He's also going to talk about the illustrious cornerstone program that is the Morning Wager alongside our friend Mark Zinno. Drew Martin's going to join the show. He's got a doubleheader action for you. Butler taking on St. John's, Xavier, Seton Hall, and then we're going to end things with Ross Benjamin. He's going to give his early thoughts on this Super Bowl and then talk a little Spurs and Rockets. So all of that and more. Andy, we got great deals coming people's way. And of course, we're going all around the world with my friend here, Andy Lang. So more than ever, folks, reasons to subscribe and hit that like button. Let's get into it, buddy.
I want to start with the LFG WTF. Let's get this free play going, man. Like what do you got for us?
Yes, it is a free play that has been entered for clients of Andy Lang. So this is one that I have bet with my own money, and I suggest that you do the same. Yesterday, we took that loss in Bundesliga, but like I told you, I don't love Bundesliga, but we got to give a WTF and LFG every day. This is a play that I do actually really like, and we're taking a look at the Champions League and probably the ugliest match on the board in Champions League, because that's what we do, Andy. Let's take a look at Paphos FC and Slavia Prague. Here, what I'm seeing, Andy, is that Slavia is a slight favorite, but I just think you're getting way too much stock in what they have done in all competitions as opposed to what they've done in this competition. Because in Champions League, winless, 4 losses, 3 ties, averaging under a half a goal a match. They're just not having an offensive output. They're not doing well. Outside of that, and what they've done in First League, 6-game winning streak, over 2 goals a game. They're amazing, right? Yeah, the problem was that their last game in First League was December 13th. So are they still in that current form that they were on that got them 6 straight wins? Paphos here, yeah, they're in a 3-game losing streak here in Champions League, but in this competition, they've certainly been the better side between these two. 5 wins, 5 ties, just 3 losses, averaging over a goal and a half a game in Champions League. What we're doing, Andy, because there's some draw potential here, let's go with Paphos on the draw no bet line. Plus 125. So if we get a draw, no harm, no foul, you get your money back. And we add a little sweat. So that plus 125 is interesting to me enough when I think I have a live dog. Full disclosure, Andy, I've also bet Paphos on the money line. That's plus 210. But for the play today, for the clients of Andy Lang and the live viewers here, we're going with draw no bet, Paphos. Thoughts here, Andy? Are we fading or following? I mean, I know that you're probably following.
We better not be fading.
We better be following.
No, we're absolutely betting this. This is an LFG. I like that we're coming off of a weak loss yesterday in a play that you clearly were not that confident in. But this one, we're firing on all cylinders, and this is an absolute LFG. I'll put this one in for clients right after the show. So let's go. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's bring in Bryan Power while we're doing that. Please hit the like button, guys. Just a small token of your appreciation. Bryan, how are you today?
I say LFG on Paphos, by the way. I completely co-sign that. They still have an outside chance of getting into the playoff. So yeah, worth a shot. Especially, I think it's worth laying the juice draw no bet too. I co-sign that completely.
Let's go. That makes me feel good. Bryan, I mean, you on the morning wager, whenever you talk soccer, you get grief. I usually get grief in the chat here as well, but when we cash the bets, nobody's complaining. So let's keep it going, buddy.
Bryan Power reposted the stream. Brian,
thank you, Bryan Power.
I don't know why that shows. I always see that. I said, yes, I did. Yes.
Well,
it comes up on my phone that we're live. I say, let's let everyone know. Andy, subscribe. There we go.
Everybody's doing it.
Well, our bonus check is in the mail, Andy. Yes.
We're going to start with NBA and then college basketball. So let's do this Lakers and Cavaliers team. I think it's a team that's overachieving versus a team that's underachieving, and I don't really know how the Lakers keep doing it, and I don't really know how the Cleveland keeps blowing it. I just every time I'm like, Cleveland, they're gonna start, and no, and then meanwhile the Lakers just keep squeaking out wins, and something's got to give here. We got Cleveland -3 and an over under at 235.5. How do you break this one down? Looks like Mobley may be the only bigger name that's probably out for tonight.
I agree with a lot of what you just said there, Andy. I talked about this game on the morning wager with the aforementioned Mark Zinno. You, of course, can catch that show every Monday through Friday on both the WagerTalk and Picks and Parlays YouTube channels. Thank you all for tuning into that. I'll let you, here's a more detailed breakdown, though, I'm going to give you on this show. From a side perspective, I like Cleveland to win and cover here. Cavs, they've been disappointing. We've talked about that. I think I've been on the show before. You and I have talked to Cavs, Andy, but they're back up to 5th in the East. Won 4 straight. The last 2 both come at the expense of Orlando. Prior to that, Kenny Atkinson's team beat Sacramento and Charlotte. So I get it's not exactly a murderer's row of opponents they've been facing recently, but 4 straight wins has this team trending in the positive direction. I know they've already lost more games this year than they did all of last regular season. I know I've mentioned that before on this show. But consider the fact, why is that? Okay, there's a couple reasons. One of it, the most obvious, is the Cavs have been really banged up this year. More on that in just a minute. Andy mentioned the Mobley injury. Big picture, though, I still think the Cavs finish 4th at worst in the Eastern Conference. My projections have them pretty close, neck and neck with the Knicks for 3rd in wins by season's end in the East. And recently, Cleveland has turned it around. I mentioned the 4 straight wins. They're 11-4 overall, straight up their last 15 games since January 1st. You're talking about a team with a net rating of plus 4.4, 6th in the league in points per 100 possessions at the offensive end. And injuries are never a good thing, guys, but maybe a little bit of a blessing in disguise for Cleveland. You've had guys like Jalen Tyson come in, step up, produce good numbers. That's going to be big down the stretch when they need. Here's a guy who's played meaningful minutes, Tyson. He can now be a contributor when it counts in April and May and maybe even into June. Meanwhile, we talk about the Lakers. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. They're not finishing top 6 in the Western Conference, guys. Look at the net rating. Look at the year-to-date point differential. The point differential in particular sticks out like a sore thumb when compared to the teams around them. It's a mediocre team at best, and they're mediocre because defensive end, they have a bottom 6 rating. Only teams with the worst defensive rating in the league than the Lakers are the Nets, the Pelicans, the Kings, the Wizards, and the Jazz. You know, throw in Indiana, and those are the worst teams in the league right there. Sure, LA's won 3 of 4. Andy says, I don't know how they keep doing it. I feel the same way. This is their 3rd road game in 5 nights, so not a great spot situationally for LA. I have no idea how this team's managed to go 16-9 straight up on the road. I'm not buying it. From a totals perspective tonight, guys, I do expect this to be high scoring. Lakers defensive woes, 26-19 to the over. Now, Cleveland, we talked about being without Mobley. And here's the other issue for the Cavs besides injuries. They're actually dead last in the league when it comes to 3-point percentage allowed at home. So let's put it all together. Okay. I like the Cavs to win and cover. I think it's a high scoring game. So my bet, Cavs team total over 119.5. I gave it out on the morning wager this morning. Obviously it was at 118.5. So taking a little bit of money, perhaps that's a good thing. Cavs are going to have no problem putting the ball in the bucket, though, I think, tonight on ESPN. I believe this game's on ESPN.
Yeah, my Cleveland Cavaliers over season win totals has been just like a slow and painful, like not even like, oh, Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen got suspended for the year type of, just rip it up. Just like, no, just water torture. Just
the thing is with the Cavs, with the Cavs, and I keep telling this to some friends of mine who are lamenting why the team hasn't been as dominant as they were last year. What would you rather have, though? The regular season that they had last year, and then they flame out early in the playoffs to your Pacers, Andy? Or maybe there's a world where They finished fourth, like I said, in the East, and Detroit does the same thing Cleveland did last year, and they flame out in the second round. You'd obviously, well, like I said, the Cavs last year peaked in December and January. You want to peak in April and May, guys, in the NBA.
You'd also like to win a few games in the regular season.
That's true. Yes, for Andy. Win a few more, guys, for Andy, okay? But I'm just saying, yeah.
No, you're 100% right. It was part of the handicap was, they want to concentrate on the playoffs a lot more, which they should, but we got a 6-game drop in their season win total. So, but I digress. We move on. Let's talk a little college basketball here. We're talking Texas and Auburn. Don't know much about these two teams. I don't follow college basketball like you do. So tell me about these teams. Tell us who you like for tonight.
Well, maybe I'm a little biased, but I think I'm a pretty good person to talk about this Texas team right now. I did go 2-0 betting them last week. Had the Longhorns plus 7.5 at Kentucky last Tuesday. Pretty much a wire-to-wire cover there. Did get a little hairy at the end. We got a little nervous, but they stayed inside the number. And then on Saturday, a big second half for the Horns. They shoot 68% from the field at home in Austin. That results in what turned out to be an easy 87-67 win and cover for Sean Miller's team as 2.5-point favorites against Georgia. I actually got that at 1.5. I bet it pretty early. Thought it was a great smash spot on Texas. Now, done patting myself on the back. Let's talk about Texas, what they've got on tap here for tonight. Being an Auburn team, it's coming off a huge upset win on Saturday. They go down to Gainesville, did the Tigers, and they beat what had been a red-hot Florida team, guys, 76-67 final. Auburn came into that game as 11.5-point underdogs. That's 3 straight wins now for Auburn. Prior to beating Florida, they beat Ole Miss and South Carolina. So got to be honest with you, this game's a tough call for me in terms of the side. I do lean Texas. I think it's a lot of points for Auburn to be laying to a competent conference foe, even at home. 4 of Texas's losses this season, guys, have been by 5 points or fewer. So they don't get blown out very often. They've beaten both Vanderbilt was undefeated when Texas beat them, and Texas has beaten Alabama as well. My power ratings, they're right in line with KenPom. They say the spread should be closer to -5. Market seems to disagree with me, though, on that one. We've seen some Auburn money come in, but you look at the total, I do agree with the move to the under. Earlier I mentioned Texas shooting 68.8% in the second half against Georgia on Saturday. On the road for a full game, no way they approach that number. We all understand that. I know we're talking about a Texas team with a top 10 offensive rating in the country. Auburn not far behind, 14th highest offensive rating. But neither of these teams play particularly fast, guys. And so far in conference play, okay, you always got to pay attention to three-point shooting. These teams rank 14th and 15th in three-point shooting in SEC play, respectively. Only Mississippi State has been worse. So I'll go with a lean towards the under in this game. Small lean towards Texas on the side.
All right, leaning under on Texas and Auburn. Great breakdowns here. Tell us about Morning Wager.
Yeah, it is back, and it's better than ever, some would say. Mark Zinno and I, some would. I said some, Dan, some.
Yes.
But, look, okay. Anyway, it's going great.
That much we can say. It is certainly back, Brian.
It is certainly back. And it's great to be back. And it was nice to see when we came back, so many people missed the show. That always makes you feel good. You can catch it, like I said, both here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel over on the Picks and Parlays YouTube channel. Mark and I give out 3 free plays every single day. One that I like, one that he likes, one that we both like. And we're now that we've got some time, the Super Bowl is still a while away, and we've got a lot of time to dive deep into both the NBA and college basketball cards over a course of a half hour. So we do that every single day. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, that show, if you've never seen it, we started when I came on. You guys were talking Champions League. I do have a 4% best bet. If you're catching this show live, you still have time to get this. It was part of the $5 Tuesday promotion at WagerTalk, but still time to get down on it right now. 4% best bet in the Champions League. We're number 1 in units earned in all soccer over the last 21 months. Very proud of that. And I'll be adding any basketball to that package as well here over the next couple hours. So WT.buzz/BP if you want to get all of today's plays. I have a soccer best bet, and any basketball that I play will be added to that package if you act before 3 p.m. Eastern.
All right. Bryan Power.
Boom.
Love it, Brian. Thanks for the breakdowns. Good luck today. Have a good one. All right, let's bring in. Actually, let's do something real quick, Dan. So you and I were just messaging. So we have a little bit of a bold prediction about where is he? Mitchell is
Very
clutch
nice.
for first basket. Okay. So now he won a 3-day pass, correct?
He did. He was one of our winners for. I think he tailed you on. It might have been the Pacers play, but yesterday, yeah, we got Colsey some 3-day free action for him. So yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if Colsey can pay it forward. In the comment section after the show, put your WagerTalk username. If Donovan Mitchell hits the first basket, I will pick a winner for a free 3-day pass.
Oh, all right. So anyone who is watching, Colsey is putting it out there for the WagerTalk live viewers. Comment below and just, shout out the show, whatever your comment wants to be. But if your comment includes your WagerTalk username, let's mark this down. If Mitchell gets the first basket this evening in the Cleveland Cavs game, somebody's winning something here on the program. How about that? Colsey putting his what's-its on the where's-its, Andy. And you can comment below and win a free 3-day flex pass if you include with your comment your WagerTalk username. And if Mitchell hits it, somebody's winning. I like that, Andy. Look at that. Viewers helping viewers here, baby. Let's go.
Jared Allen against DeAndre Ayton for the opening tip. I like our chances. Jared Allen. Right. Get us that first possession, baby.
Take it to the hole. Yeah.
Thank you, Colsey. Love that one. All right, let's bring in Drew Martin.
Coming, guys.
Yeah. Let's bring in Drew Martin and let's talk Peacock doubleheader.
Yes,
Drew,
sir.
happy Wednesday. How are you?
What is up, Andy? What is up, Dan? I'm doing good, man. Good to see you guys. And I'll tell you, I just heard you talking about the Auburn Texas game tonight, and I got the chance to go to the Florida Auburn game in Gainesville. Took a drive up, and it was the first college basketball game I've been able to go to live in a couple years. It was a great experience, and to see the upset, it was great atmosphere in there. It's always nice to kind of rejuvenate yourself and see some sports live. So it was a fun weekend.
For sure, dude.
Well, let's talk this doubleheader here on Peacock. We got Butler. I live just down the street from Butler. Nice campus, but boy, they are big underdogs here. St. John's is -13 over under 161.5. Can you make the case from Butler outright? Can you make the case for them covering the spread? What's your take on this game?
Andy, I can't. I like the Johnnies in this one, and I'll tell you, I put up a free play last night, so I got down on the Johnnies at 11.5. They're 15-5. Rick Pitino's squad is a top 30 offense and defensive efficiency team. I love betting on college basketball teams that are good on both sides of the court. Sure enough, the Johnnies are that. They're great offensive rebounding as well. Their center Zuby, Bryce Hawkins, I think they're going to be able to crash the boards, get second chance points. They're 8-1 in the Big East, whereas when you look at Butler, they're under 500 in the conference. Thad Matta's squad, he made the trip over from Ohio State a few years ago. They do play fast, but they really struggle on defense. And again, I go back to the Johnnies. I think they're going to be able to take advantage of that. Top 25 team, and they've dominated this series. They already beat Butler by 14 on the road earlier this season. They've won 7 straight in this series, covering 6 of those games. All of that pointing to, I think St. John's wins this one. I bet them 11.5 last night. Now we're seeing 13, so the market's onto it. But I think they win by 2 touchdowns, if not more.
3 touchdowns is plus 261. So if you're really interested,
alt line action. I like it, Andy. I like it.
Well, we got one more football game left, so might as well get those juice out of the squeeze.
And Andy, real quick before we get to the second game, we'll talk Xavier and Seton Hall here in a second. Drew said something at the top of that breakdown that I think is just worth mentioning, and the fact that he put out a free play for folks over on his page wt.buzz/DM, and he got 11.5. And sure, we think this could be a potential blowout. So is the 2 points really going to matter all that much in this matchup? Maybe not, but Drew, subscribing and even just checking the Cappers pages on a daily basis or getting that all access that you get the notification when they're putting stuff up, that's so important when you're talking about a sport like college basketball that is so volatile, man. Like you'll have 5-6 point line swings in just a few hours. So more than ever, this is kind of that season where you want to make sure if you're hopping on board, don't just be just a play buyer. Probably at least grab, the 3-day pass, the 7-day pass, so you get them right away, because that makes a huge difference in college basketball, right?
That's a great point, Dan. I mean, particularly in college basketball, the NFL, a lot of people love to bet it, but it just doesn't move as much in terms of sides, totals. College basketball, like you talked about, 5-6 point moves. Some of these totals will move 7, 8, 9 points in the overnight market. And it doesn't take a whole lot of money to do that. So when you can get on the front end of those moves, it just changes your win percentage over time. So yeah, and lastly on this, Dan, I would say 80 to 90% of my college basketball bets that I put in are in the overnight market, at 8 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Eastern, because of that. So if you're buying the play, right before tip off, you might have the number, but it's way better to be on the 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, 1 year all access, because you'll get the notification and be able to get in at the better number. So that's a great point, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. WT.buzz/DM is where you can find Drew's plays. We'll find out what he has up here in just a few seconds. But Drew, Xavier, Seton Hall. Let's talk this matchup here. A little bit closer, you could say, but you still have Seton Hall over that touchdown that you talked about. What are you seeing in this one? Any thoughts, side total? How are you looking to bet this one?
Yeah, we got the Wednesday Chris Allen Peacock doubleheader. It is also the Pitino doubleheader, as we get Rick Pitino and Richard Pitino, his son, the coach of Xavier. And I'll tell you, I'll do the Pitino two-step here, Dan. I like Xavier +6 in the hook. Richard Pitino's team has played a much tougher schedule to this point, and they have had a couple tough losses, no doubt about it. They're only 2 games over 500, but they played some pretty good basketball. Trey Carroll, the FAU transfer, he scored 89 points over the last 3 games. In college basketball, this guy is just hot right now. He's their best player. He's not a guy I'm looking to bet against by any means. And Xavier won 5 of their last 6 versus Seton Hall. They've dominated this series. Seton Hall has lost 4 straight games. Yes, they are good on defense, but they kind of struggle on offense. So laying a number here, almost a touchdown, I don't like it. They're averaging just over 60 points the last 4 games. They're not scoring enough. Therefore, to lay this number, I'll actually fade that. I like Xavier, the Musketeers. Give me the Richard Pitino special here in the 7:30 Peacock game. I like Xavier +6.5, Dan.
I love it. So on Peacock, the alliteration does itself. The Peacock Pitino parlay is the way that we're looking at it here. We're laying and we're taking. I love it, Drew. And you can always follow Drew. He's a great follow on Twitter as well, at Drew Martin Bets. I'll pop it up there so you guys can see that. Drew, real quick, before we find out what you have up over at WagerTalk.com, awesome college basketball breakdowns there. We love it when you come on. You bring a great perspective. A lot of what you do is sides, and that's what a lot of people like to bet. So Drew is a great guy to follow if that's your favorite way to be playing these games. But Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, you're still going to be rocking with Drew's Daily Diamond. And while you're not on the Diamond quite yet, do you do a lot of college basketball on that show as you head towards obviously MLB? Because it's another thing people should check out here. Subscribe. It's a daily show that Drew likes dropping here for you guys, getting you some action, and I think you do some college basketball in there too, right, Drew? Yeah,
I've been doing the Saturday. I just started it up Saturday. College basketball. We get. Some Saturdays it's just crazy how many games we get, but I usually pick out the 3 games that just missed the client card, break those down, so you can check that out on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, and talk the NFL as well, which is coming to an end. But of course, we got spring training coming up right around the corner here, Dan, and Drew's Daily Diamond definitely be hammering the MLB side of things when that comes around. So already starting to do a little bit of research. Haven't fired away on any season win totals yet, but of course, the Diamond, always something that's fun, and do have the college basketball top play for Wednesday. And I know we've talked about it before, but it's been a heck of a run. 4-0 and 18-3 on Wednesdays. So we got the top play, just one solo play up and available for tonight.
Midweek Drew Martin is a thing to be reckoned with, baby. And when you wake up Saturday mornings and you're like, damn, I don't get to see Andy and all the gang on Wager Talk today, Drew will have you covered. Drew's Daily Diamond. Check it out this weekend, this Saturday, and comment below and let him know that we sent you. Drew, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for letting us know. Continue that hell of a run, brother, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Andy. Have a good one, guys.
Appreciate you. Wednesday special.
Why are we not running a year worth of Drew's Wednesday play special?
Just Wednesdays. That's awesome. And Andy, and the thing is people can say, oh yeah. It's the same thing was when you were doing your primetime run. Sometimes there are just things in sports betting that you get dialed in. Maybe it's because you have a little bit less to cap. You're kind of already done your weekend look aheads. And with primetime, with props, when you're able to just ISO in on one game and go through the whole entire slate instead of picking out 16 games and which player do I like, which it was the secret sauce, man. And Drew just has the secret sauce. I love it.
Yeah, it is funny. We've isolated a few. There's been several times where it was like Sundays and Mondays tennis was great because that's the start of the tournament, and there's just a lot of games to a lot of matches to pick from. It's like, well, that's weird. So yeah, there is a method to the madness. So I can go over some line moves here on OddsLogic. We got a couple of questions about that. Full disclosure, I had a miserable day yesterday. Every free play I gave out won. Every client play I gave out lost. It was just one of those days where if you just watch my social media, you're like, God, this guy is awesome. And then like all access clients, like, thanks a lot. You lost in NBA, lost in tennis. So we get back on track today. Those days happen. So let's go to college basketball. A few line moves. There's a couple of aggressive ones. The most aggressive was Florida State. They opened at -1.5. I already see 4s popping up there. That's by far the most aggressive one today. Mississippi State, that LSU opened -8.5. That's down to -6.5. Again, we're kind of early in the day here. So those are a couple of them that I'm looking at. So yeah, that's a couple decent ones to look at. Other than that, I can't say anything. There's nothing that's moved in the Super Bowl. Nothing props wise I've seen that's moved. And it's too early in the day to take a look at NBA and NHL. So those are a couple of them, but that's about it. So, all right. Let's bring in Ross, the boss, Benjamin.
The boss is in the building, baby. What up,
What's
Ross?
up, boys? What's up, man?
How we doing?
How are you?
Everything's good. Everything's good. Couldn't be better, My Sabres are rolling. Boy, oh boy.
My Sabres.
You got a new head coach in Buffalo?
19-3-1 in the last 23. Look at, we're finally starting to have some meaningful hockey around here in the month of February, because usually we're eliminated from playoff contention by now.
That's all right. What's your thought on the Joe Brady hire, promotion, I guess?
I'm glad you asked, Andy. Because you just you just intensified my current ulcer. Anyway, I'm only kidding, folks. I was not on board with the Sean McDermott firing. You had a coach that took over when we were on a 17-year playoff drought, and he proceeded to lead the Bills to 8 of 9 playoff appearances. The last 7 years we've been in each time. We've won playoff games in each of the last 6 years. We've won 2 division titles, advanced to 2 AFC championship games. And I guess, according to Terry Pagula, we hit the playoff wall. Okay, I get that. So having said all that and accepting the fact that we must move on, I think this was a good hire. I do. I think that they stayed away from the splash hiring and bringing somebody outside the organization in, because quite frankly, continuity has been a key to the Bills' success over the last 8 or 9 years. And Joe Brady brings that continuity. And according to every source locally here, he really knocked it out of the park in the interview in one particular aspect where they were looking for a CEO, a guy who could overlook the whole operation in terms of coaching and what was his plan. And according to Brandon Bean, he just absolutely knocked it out of the park. And Ryan Fitzpatrick did confirm that yesterday on his podcast, as he had a long discussion with Bean in the morning, and that's what he indicated. So I think I wasn't on board again with the firing, but I am on board with the hiring.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday, trying to make sense of it and whether it was good or bad.
Don't try to make sense of it, Andy, because it doesn't make sense. You know, the hiring does after, but the firing, I don't know what kind of spin you want to put on the firing, but at the end of the day, I would think any objective observer would say that doesn't make sense.
All right. Well, let's turn our attention to this Super Bowl. You're doing just giving us a preview. You're giving us some trends. Where do you want to start with this?
Yeah, look at both teams. I mean, New England went 9-0 on the road this year. Okay, so it is a neutral site game, obviously. So, but still, you can't ignore that, and you can't ignore the fact that Seattle, since last year, has gone 14-1 in their last 15 on the road. So, sort of a wash there. Something's got to give. You look at Super Bowl favorites over the last 4 years, 0-4 straight up in ATS. You look at Super Bowl favorites of 3.5 or greater, 0-6 against the spread in the last 6, and 1-5 straight up in those games. So Super Bowl favorites haven't done well of late, Andy. And, since the 81 Super Bowl favorites of 5 or less have only gone 7-17 against the spread. And since the 83 Super Bowl, totals of 47 or less, those games have gone 15-3 to the over. That's 83.3%. So there's now, again, those are just trends, folks. And they're trends for the Super Bowl. And do I put a lot of stock in those? Probably very little when it comes to the matchup itself. I will say to be careful, because I'm seeing a lot of money going down early from the source that I use in terms of the point spread betting and the volume of bets point spread betting on Seattle. Over 70% both ways. I think a lot of that has to do with if you listen to all the talking heads across the board, whether it be on ESPN, any other major outlet, or any podcast, a lot of people were selling the fact that the NFC Championship game was going to produce the Super Bowl winner, and it was a Super Bowl. So I wouldn't. Again, that leaves me some hesitancy. Easy for you to say, Andy, in terms of taking Seattle early. I've never been one to. I've found it. I've done a lot better over the last 20 years when I wait to the week leading up to the Super Bowl to make my picks, rather than trying to jump in on an early line. And, Dan, you mentioned a good point about getting down early. It's a double-edged sword with us because, I do have a lot of subscribers, and it's always nice to get down early and get the better number. But getting down early doesn't assure you're going to get the better number every time. I'm more of a counter puncher, and I wait a little bit before releasing my plays. And that's just been my style, and that's what works for me. Some guys are real good at getting down early and getting a great number a vast majority of the time. I haven't found that to be the case with me. Like I said, if I could use a boxing analogy, I'm more of a counter puncher in that regard.
Well, I was telling Dan yesterday, there was a trend that we missed, and we could have played this at the beginning of the season, Ross. Did you see this thing about the last 3 times, or the last 2 times we've had a new pope elected, the Seahawks have made it to the Super Bowl, and sure enough, this year,
foolproof.
They get a new pope, and the Seahawks have made it to the Super Bowl. So that's
Make
three
it 3 straight. Make it 3 straight. Next time we got a new pope, we got to put our Seattle to win the NFC
Who
futures
says we
in.
can't mix religion with sports, Benny?
The holy water in Pittsburgh? the holy water in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, here's a ridiculous one we can get ahead of as well. How about no starting quarterback, Ross, with a name less than 5 letters long has ever won a Super Bowl? So Drake May, with only 4 letters, he can't possibly win the Super Bowl. Getting even worse than that, starting quarterbacks whose first and last name end in the same letter, Drake May, ending in E, 0-6 in the Super Bowl era if their names end with the same last letter. That's going back to 1970. And then the final piece de resistance, Ross. How about starting quarterbacks with the initials DM, 0-2 in the Super Bowl? Dan Marino didn't win it. Donovan McNabb didn't win it. And now Drake May, according to that trend.
I guess
and
Josh Allen will never win a Super Bowl then.
Yeah,
because
you're right.
5 letters or less.
5 letters or less, you're screwed.
Bring on the next quarterback because I'm screwed then.
6-0 is not nothing.
I know. It's just
like 2-0 is
those
nothing.
Those are the ones that crack me up, though. It's like someone took time to research that. So
You're saying 5 letters or less was a bad record.
Yeah. So less than 5 letters long has never won a Super Bowl if their last name is less than. I mean, I don't know what the sample size is on that one, but the 0-6 for first name, last name ending in the same letter. 0-6, where there's smoke, there's fire, Ross. You know, maybe Drake May needs a name change. Maybe he just needs to be Drac May. Drac May.
I wonder if it's because of like hereditary, like your lineage, like multiple, like certain
too soft
ancestries. Yeah, certain ancestries are bigger in the spot.
Obviously, Dan Marino, his Italian heritage hurt him more than helped him, huh?
Ross is like, can we just get to the action, boys? I'm just here so I don't get fined. Man, I don't need to
entertain a little bit, right? So just talk about straight sports betting. I do that every day on my solo videos. This is refreshing.
All right. Well, let's talk the Spurs and Rockets game. This is by far the marquee game of the night, kind of butting into a nice little rivalry here. Actually, the Spurs are picking up some rivalries with a couple of teams. The Thunder and them are rivals. Spurs and Rockets, nice rival. Really, really good game tonight. And it looks like we're going to get just about everybody except for Steven Adams. But looks like all the starters are going. Houston, small favorite here, -2.5, over under 220.5. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, I mean, you say it's turning into a good rivalry, but it seems like even though San Antonio has been through a resurgence in the last couple of years, Houston has really owned them in recent meetings. However, let's get to what I'm going to look at, and that's the total, 220.5. Both of these teams have played on the low side of the number a lot recently. And how much have they played under the total recently, Andy? I'm glad you asked. San Antonio has played 12-1 to the under in their last 13 games and 18-3 to the under in their last 21. Narrowing it down even further, the Spurs have played 10-0 to the under in their last 10 on the road. And in those 10 games on the road, they only allowed 107 points per game. These teams just met last Tuesday in Houston, and the Rockets walked away with a 111-106 win. That game easily going under the total of 221. I shouldn't say easily, but it went comfortably under the total of 221. The Houston Rockets, on the other hand, they've played 12-2 to the under in their last 14, including 5 straight unders at home. In those 5 home games that all went under the total, the average combined score was just 213.4 points per game. And the Rockets this year, when there's been a total of 223 or less at home, 5-1 to the under in those games. And San Antonio, by the way, number 4 in defensive efficiency, and Houston, number 5. So 2 of the better defensive teams in terms of that category. And let's look at free throws, guys. You know, I think when you look at NBA or college basketball totals, to me, my perception is a lot of people overlook this facet for both teams, and I look at it quite a lot, and it weighs heavily for me. And you look at San Antonio, they're allowing just 21.4 free throw attempts a game against them this season. On the season, that's an extremely low number by NBA standards. And then you got a Houston team that has shot just 68.6% from the free throw line over their last 7 games. So you got one team that doesn't allow a lot of free throws and another team that has a horrible free throw percentage in recent games. San Antonio, number 2 in the NBA in free throw attempts allowed this season. I already touched upon that. Houston, by the way, they're number 6, only allowing 22.3 field goal attempts per game. Houston, over their last 15 games, there's only been a combined 32.2 free throw attempts per contest between both teams. So let me repeat that again. Houston's last 15 games, a combined 32.2 free throw attempts per game. That average is about 16 per game. And when you're looking at a total, man, you can't ignore that stuff, folks. I ain't ignoring it. I'm going under the total of 220.5.
Great breakdown, Ross. Yeah, Jesse's been talking about these unders in NBA, and you're seeing it. Like the first part of the season, there's no way you would have seen a 220.5 total. Like no chance you would see it. Not only are we seeing it, we're like actually playing it. So
yeah, and you got to look at also, Andy, to use another boxing analogy, and I'm sorry I cut you off. But styles make fights. And I just think that these two teams, when they meet each other, this is the type of style of game they engage in. And it's low scoring, it's physical, but both teams showing a lot of discipline on the defensive end of the floor. And I say that not only because of their defensive efficiency ratings, but I just mentioned the amount of free throw attempts allowed. And if you compare that to the amount of points they allow and how good they are defensively, that equals to me very, very disciplined defensive teams. So
I agree with you 100%, Rosso, and you can cut me off anytime. Just not in traffic.
He's Ross the boss. He's Ross the effing boss.
Yeah,
he will speak when he wants to
cuts
speak,
me off.
baby.
Yeah, you cut me off in traffic. We have a problem on the show.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. What do you have to promote, Ross?
I have a lot to promote, but I'll do it real quickly. NHL. I just started my NHL once football wound down. Now, you know, Dan, you mentioned this, and I'm glad you did, is sometimes when we got all the action going on at the same time, and then one sport gets, or two sports, college football and NFL, get out of the way, it leaves you more time to address something you might not have addressed before. And my NHL 7-4 so far to start the year, up 7 units. All sports since May the 13th, up over 175 units in net profit, folks. That's 8.5 months. So when it goes that long and it makes that much money, it's not a fluke, folks. So that's why you should really entertain the thought of getting my 365-day all-access pass for $14.99. That's $500 off our normal price. That amounts to $4.10 per day. And not only will you get my 365 days all-access pass, you'll also get a 25% bonus coupon that you could use toward any other purchase at WagerTalk.com. Any other expert, unlimited use, 25% off for the entirety of that 365 days. So take advantage of that. And real quickly again, 59.09 units in net profit with my last 270 totals in all sports. NBA sides up 91.50 units with my last 632 picks. College basketball totals up 45 units over my last 230. And NFL with the Super Bowl right around the corner, folks. I'm on the 32-20 NFL run, 62%. So a lot to look forward to, a lot to take advantage of. 7-day all-access pass, $69, less than $10 a day. Folks, take advantage of this while those are limited time offers. Take advantage of when it lasts.
Ross, the boss Benjamin, always bringing the heat, and he finally has some meaningful Sabres hockey.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Ross.
3-1 with the last 23, and they blew right by the Flyers, by the way, Dan.
Well, luckily, you know, I feel like I've sworn off the Flyers, I've sworn off the Sixers. Right. Now the Sixers are, of course, doing well, but yes, blow right past that team. I need them to keep going down.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't sign off on your beauross wife, okay?
Yeah, that'll never happen, Ross. That'll never happen. All right, thanks, Ross. Ross, the boss, baby.
I wanted to go over a couple things here, Dan, before we go all around the world. So I did 2 NBA plays, and they both lost, but I want to go over them and talk about strategies here and what happened. So we'll go over the first one. We had Drew Holiday over 11.5 points, okay? I won't go over the write-up, but checked all the boxes. He went 2 of 14 from the field for 5 points. So you would look at that and say, it's horrible, right? Like, it's a terrible play. I look at it and say, he got his normal minutes and he got his normal shots. He just had a horrific shooting night. Okay, so 14 shot attempts. Okay. The other play that I had was Duncan Robinson to go over 2.5 3-pointers. He went 0 for 8 on threes. Okay, this is a guy who's shooting 45%, depending on what metric you look at for 3-pointers, depending on your short-term or long-term, right? So you're looking at those 2 plays and you're going, okay, Drew Holiday, 2 of 14, Duncan Robinson, or 0 for 8. So I picked 2 guys that went a combined 2 for 22 from the field, and you're going disgusting. You're going gross. I'll never bet these guys again. I will be going right back to them in their very next games.
Yep.
That's how you attack.
Just had a horrible shooting night, and maybe they'll go in a horrible shooting slump. But I mean, Andy, that's why, you know, I give you credit when you're breaking down these NBA games, because that's what kills me about the variance of betting basketball is, in my opinion, the only number that I heard was how many shots did he take. The only number that I heard was how many minutes did he play, because that's what you can handicap. You can't handicap a guy going 2 of 14. You can't handicap a guy going 0 for 8, especially if that is well below the average that they typically do. You just can't handicap it, man.
Yeah, the attempts were there, and the attempts will be there in the next game. So they'll regress back to the mean, and we'll make money off of them in the next one, and I'll probably play them the next few games. So that's how I attack the props market. So, all right, let's go to all around the world. We got some some unique markets here. Ross did a good job breaking down the Spurs and the Rockets here. Great player prop here, Julian Champagnie, and he's been an absolute cash cow. He's playing 29 minutes per game. He's knocking down 2 to 3 3-pointers. He's adding 1 to 2 free throws, and he's averaging 4.4 made field goals. 3 of those are coming from 3-point range. And he's not intimidated by Houston. He scored 27 and 22 in his last 2 head-to-head matchups. So this guy's not scared of this defense, and he knows how to attack it. And I think this is a few points too low. So Champagnie over 10.5 points. We have to go to the Farmers Insurance Open, Dan. One of my favorite theories ever is fade the baby theory. And Xander Schauffele just did an interview, and Xander Schauffele talked about how he has a baby now. He hasn't played since October, except for some rounds with his buddies. And he talked about how his shoulders have been hurting from carrying around the baby, and how he doesn't know how his wife does it, and he doesn't know how this week is going to go. And the very first tournament he's going to play is the longest course that they play this year. He plays Torrey Pines on the South course. I am taking him over 2.5 bogeys in round 1. The rough is very, very tough. He's going to have to swing for the fences to make this course manageable, and I see a lot of rust coming out. So Xander Schauffele over 2.5 bogeys in round 1. And then we're going to start talking Super Bowl props. We'll start talking the gimmicky, kind of fun ones. But if we're talking just game ones, these are out right now on the domestics. I'll take a look at Kenneth Walker over 21.5 receiving. He's had 49, 29, and 36 the last 2 weeks. There's no Charbonnet, and he's had 11 catches the last 3 weeks. So Kenneth Walker is the guy in the backfield getting majority of these. We saw a few other guys get some work, but it's the Super Bowl, Dan. Seattle's not taking Kenneth Walker off the field unless absolutely 100% necessary. So Champagne over his points, Shoffley over his bogeys. That play is for tomorrow, and Kenneth Walker over his receiving. Those are your free plays for all around the world.
Love it. You love to see it, Andy. Let's get after it. And for those of you who are just tuning in now, the play that we gave out at the top for our WTF and LFG is a play in Champions League. It is one that we like enough that we added it to clients' cards here today for Andy Lang, WT.buzz/AL. And it's Paphos FC taking on Slavia Prague or Slavia Praha. They're spelled different ways depending on which book you're going to. But Paphos is either P-A-P-H-O-S or P-A-F-O-S. Domestic books, you're probably going to have P-A-F-O-S. But we're taking Paphos, draw no bet. That's plus 125. Sprinkle a little bit for me on Paphos on the money line as well at plus 210. There we go.
And what's the league again, real quick?
That is Champions League. Champions League soccer. So it should be the one that's right at the top of that green book and the blue book. There you go.
AW, so golf is the opposite of other sports when players have a kid. UFC and golf.
Fade the baby.
Fade the baby theory. The reason that you fade the baby in golf is golfers are such creatures of habit.
Yep.
And anybody that's had a child knows your sleep is messed up, your routine is messed up, and they cannot get their practice schedule and their sleep schedule back. So anytime there's a baby, and this has been true for decades. Like when I first started my very first golf podcast, the second you see a guy have Sergio Garcia was the funny. He had his first baby. He wasn't right for 3 months. It was just a cash cow, like week in and week out. And UFC is the same thing. You have a baby, your sleep is off, your practice schedule is a little bit off. So those are the two sports that we really implement the fade the baby theory. So, all right. We got our golf show that is up. If you want a more detailed breakdown on the Farmers Insurance Open, that is up. The prop line is up. Dan, I gave out a 23-1 same game parlay sprinkle for tonight that I'm pretty excited about. So we got a good amount of stuff going. Tomorrow's I believe they're announced. This is where they release all the props at Westgate for Super Bowl, right? Is it today?
Yeah, today. So it typically has been Thursday in previous years, but I think they're kind of seeing what's happening, how all these domestic books already have them up already. So Wednesday night tonight is a big drop over at the Westgate. If you guys are in Las Vegas, head over to the Westgate because Teddy Covers is going to be out there. Our friend John Hoagland's going to be out there doing filming. Crackman, Yanni, all of them are going to be out there. They'd love for you to stop by, say hello, but we're filming a hell of a lot of content this Wednesday night that will be coming your way. Teddy is going to have a breakdown for insiders only. A big-time prop breakdown on how he approaches prop betting, his tips for betting Super Bowls, what he has done to cash year in and year out in betting Super Bowl props and Super Bowl side and total. So that video will be available only for WagerTalk insiders, and you can become an insider, WT.buzz/insiders. So yes, tonight, Andy, is the night. And if you're in Vegas, go on over to the Westgate, say hi to the guys. They would love to see you. 6 p.m. 6 p.m.
Okay. Local time?
Yep, 6 p.m. local time. So 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're on Eastern time, you're probably not going to get there in time, folks. So if you're in Las Vegas, 6 p.m. Pacific time is when the whole crew will be out there. So go over there, say hello.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Please hit the like button. Don't forget, leave your WagerTalk username in the chat. That's all you have to do. And if Donovan Mitchell has the first basket tonight, we're going to randomly pick a winner for a 3-day pass. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We're going to do it same time, same place tomorrow. Good luck on your bets. We'll serve you tomorrow. Take care.